Pittsburgh, Baltimore. This game, I I don't want to get too much into praising Baltimore just yet. All right. But what they did do, they saw some things that I saw in last year's playoff that we all saw. Lamar Jackson took it upon himself to run the football. When it's not there, when ain't nobody else gonna make a play, you go make the play, Lamar. And he did exactly that. Played a huge factor into how you were able to control that game from start to finish. But like you said, though, Derrick Henry, he has made the biggest difference in this offense because it now provides that home run element that is not beholden to your quarterback to have to make. And having him there with Lamar growing as a passer, even in this game, you saw Lamar as a passer is definitely leaps and bounds better than what he's been in each of his previous 2 MVP seasons. Yeah, Derrick Henry makes the ultimate difference for this team, dog. And I don't think and it's hard to quantify it because you don't really expect these runs that he's able to make, but you know they're coming. And when you have that factor, being in there for an offense that's already able to control the line of scrimmage and control time of possession, and you have a home run element to your offense as well, it makes it hard for anyone to feel like they have a chance of beating you.
Yeah, bro. That's what I was gonna get at earlier. That I think Derrick Henry could be the secret weapon that helps get them finally gets Brother Lamar to a Super Bowl. However, there's still Michael Jordan in the midst, and he got to deal with Houston. But man, he Lamar will have a lot of help this go around. Maybe just not at the receiving position, but just rushing. Now, this game here, it was very good, man. Hate to see, Brother Russ. It seemed like there was that time Seattle Russ came, back, and then Sierra husband showed up, So there's a huge difference in that. But
yeah, that's
man,
crazy.
good. Yeah, I know, man. It's cold. I'm sorry, y'all. Good showing by Baltimore, man. They got over the hump. They're not doing another one and done like they always do. Have a great year and just be one and done at the playoffs. Because I hate that. I feel like Lamar is way better than that. He's working on his third consecutive MVP. Was it third consecutive? No,
This will be back to back MVPs if he wins this year, but this will be his third overall.
Third overall, okay, because he's going to get it again. I don't know why they try to throw Josh Allen in there, but he's going to get it again. He's MVP this year. So, take care of business. Who they got next?
Brother, they have Buffalo.
They got Buffalo.
Oh, they have Buffalo.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. And it's in Buffalo.
Yeah, on the road. Yeah. Hey, look, this is great pageantry for the game. D, I'm gonna let you go, but the pageant, the setup here is perfect, though.
I think the setup here is perfect. But going back to the Ravens and Steelers, I want to talk more about the Steelers. I want to talk more about Mike Tomlin. Um, in the midst of what we were talking about earlier, Tease, about black head coaches. A lot of people are pretty much on edge with I guess the Steeler way, where it's like, all right, cool, like you win, you get winning season, but you're not performing in the playoffs. At what point do you hold him accountable with that as well? You know what I'm saying? Like you.
No.
What?
I'm ready. Hey,
everybody home. Ain't no Steelers fans saying they fired Mike Tomlin. No, that's ridiculous.
No, I wasn't gonna get to that. I wasn't gonna address that. I was just gonna say, like, what more can he do to just be more? I mean, me personally, you don't go that long.
You know what though? I ain't gonna lie. I'm with the Steelers fans on this one. I really am. I gotta be because
I wouldn't fire him, but it's
okay. Look, all right. Don't fire him. Cool, right? Okay, with this team, how this team has performed, whose fault is it that this team is the way that they are? Like nobody else has been there for 20 years. So whose fault is it that they are in the middle of the road the way that they are, and you haven't won a playoff game since 2016? It's nobody else is doing this other than him. And I respect the hell out of Mike Tomlin, one of the greatest coaches we have in our game. And Steelers fans are catching heat because they're being, I guess, spoiled because they've had so many winning seasons. But tell me this, Ace, would you want to consistently win maybe 9, 10 games, make it to the wild card, get bounced out? Haven't won a game since 2016.
That'll
Look,
be annoying.
we haven't been to the
It'll get
playoffs since
annoying after a while.
exactly.
Okay, and it'll get
Uh,
annoying as hell
for
after a while. It really will.
exactly, and for perspective, we're Panthers fans. We haven't been to the playoffs since 2017. We have the same amount of wins in the past 8 years in the playoffs.
What this kind of like reminds me of up until his later years as a coach.
Mm-hmm.
Tony Dungy and Indy is literally the same thing. Like
That's
Tony
Mm-hmm.
good.
Dungy,
That's real good.
like Tony Dungy was at the cusp of being like every year undefeated, starting undefeated, winning. You couldn't either get out of the wild card or the divisional. And then you make it to the AFC Championship game, lose, and then you eventually win. I remember before that first that first Super Bowl we played in Miami, he was on the hot seat. He was like, "You get bounced out again, you out." He was gone, and he was winning consecutively every single year. But it was about same thing. Like you got to beat Brady, you got to beat the Patriots, a rival. You got to find a way to win, and then
I was just about
they
to say you
did.
got to remember who was in that who was lurking in that division though at
Yeah,
that
who was
time.
looking in that division at that time? This ain't a weak AFC now. This is when they was
This
booming.
real dogs.
When the AFC was compared to like the West Conference of the NBA, they was booming. Like
You're right, but
so, I mean, like especially when you got one of the generational talents at quarterback, and it's like you still not winning. So for Mike Tomlin, it's like but the thing about it, he got his Super Bowl early, and people want that. They at least want to be in the conversation of being contenders in that.
you haven't
And
even been back. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the thing. You haven't even been back. I understand it's hard to get to Super Bowl to start with, and it's hard to it's hard to win one, and it's hard to be as consistent as they've been. But I guess my problem is, for example, how they started this year off. You started this year off 4-2. Now my Justin Fields is the starting quarterback at the time. Now, I'm gonna be honest. The only way I could have felt good about this, how this season went, is if I had a young quarterback that I'm looking to grow and build with as my starter. Once you take Justin Fields out and you insert Russell Wilson, I'm expecting this team to take flight. There needs to be a level of ascension. You had 4 wins when you took Justin Fields out of the lineup. You got the 10 by the end of the year, and you didn't win again. You didn't win in the last month of the season. So what did you do? So my thing is, like, hey, why couldn't we have gone back to Justin Fields at some point? In this month straight where you didn't win a game, why was Justin Fields never considered to be the guy you can go back to? Hey, maybe let's let the young guy grow within the offense and see how much better he can get throughout the course of the season. I'm telling you right now, if the Steelers fans had a young quarterback, they could at least hang their hat on and say, hey, we're at least going to grow and figure it out with him. I feel like the mentality would have been a lot different. But when you do this with 30-something-year-old Russell Wilson, who we know is on his last legs, who we know his career is almost, he's in the twilight zone, damn near. This doesn't give me any hope as a fan. If I'm telling you, bro, like there's certain things that you just can't do, and hey,
yeah,
and because you win these games, because you win so many games, and we're always picking in the 20s, we can never go get the quarterback. They got to make a decision in the offseason. Like, hey, what do we want to do? Do we want to go all in on getting a great young talent, or are we going to be okay with settling for mediocrity at the quarterback position and doing and coaching up everywhere else? And I get it. He's been phenomenal, and his coaching acumen can't be disputed because he's definitely made a lot of guys better. But the reason why they're never going to get anywhere is because they don't have premium guys at premium positions.
and I
You
think too.
need to go get a quarterback.
Yeah, I think going back to what you said about that as well, it kind of was similar to Big Ben. You know what I'm saying? Like Big Ben really wasn't at the tail end of his career. He really wasn't the same guy. But I think it's a trust thing. I think it's always they're always going to trust veteran. You know what I'm saying? Veteran like experience to adapting to change and adapting that there are some failures with like a young quarterback. And I think that's what kind of happened with Justin Fields and Russell Wilson. There was so much tension in the media about who is what, and we seen like the potentials of Fields. But obviously, when your season is on the line, and that's understandable, you take a chance and you go for the veteran. And yeah, Russell was doing his thing at some point, in the year, but like these are the times when you have to put Justin Fields in these situations to say, "Hey, I can trust you in these situations," especially when it comes to like maybe a division game or whatever the case may be. But the Steelers were at a situation where it was like both quarterbacks is iffy. It's not even like Russell Westbrook was the better quarterback. Russell Wilson, sorry, Russell Wilson was the better quarterback. Or Justin Field wasn't that good. It's just the fact that you have a young guy who you can't trust yet, and then you got an older guy who's at the tail end of his career who's really not the same quarterback that he used to be. So it was just more like, okay, let's just gamble and take the veteran, and it just didn't work out. So and then you got George Pickens don't even believe in offense no more. You know what I'm saying?
It's fun,
So
as a receiver, it's frustrating when you scheming things up and it's just not clicking, and the offense not clicking, and you're in a big game. George Pickens came from well, we know where George Pickens came from. Came from Georgia. He's used to winning. He's just not used to just coming here, not being he wants offense to run, not necessarily run through him, but he wants more plays to scheme for him. He feel like his stats can be better because he thinks he's a better player than when. And I think George Pickens is. George Pickens can be. Um, but it's just one thing about Justin Fields is he just never got a fair shake and a fair shot. And when he does, and he does what he needs to do. Even in Chicago, he did what he was supposed to do. He made DJ Moore a 1,000-yard receiver. He still got that done. Then he gets to the Steelers, and they still bench him for no reason. I never understood that. You started off 4-2, you still get benched. I don't get that. So why is it that Justin Fields can never get a fair shot that what Sam Darnold is getting, Baker Mayfield got? Um, Hell, I wouldn't be surprised Daniel Jones get another starting job. It's ridiculous to me.